朋友们，你们好，我又回来了。Oh, hi COOSkidz! How have you been? You have been home for almost 3 weeks now. Are you bored at home? Or are you making good use of your time? Last week, we learned about gentleness. Did you show gentleness in your words and actions for the last 7 days? Good job if you had. If you have not, don't worry, you can do it this week. Now we have one last attribute in our Fruit of the Spirit series. Do you know what it is? Self-control, self-control. It's important for my soul to have self-control. I pause and think. Self-control is what I need. Do you say self-control? You are right. Self-control is taking charge of your words and actions. It is stopping to think before saying anything or doing anything that will not be pleasing to God. Many of us need help in order to have self-control, and it will take time, effort, and also make wise choices. Do you know that there are people in the Bible who lack self-control? Let's have a mini quiz. All right. Who lacked self-control by eating a piece of fruit, even though God had commanded against it? Did you say Eve? You're correct. Let's try again. Who lacked self-control by giving in to peer pressure and ate a piece of fruit also? You are right again. It's Adam. Let's try one more. Let me think. Who lacked self-control by letting jealousy control him and killing his brother? Let me give you a hint. His brother's name is Abel. Wow, you are very smart. You are right. It's Cain. All right, last 2 questions, all right? Let me think. I must think of a harder one. All right, who lacked self-control by spending all of his money on wild living? You guessed it? The prodigal son. Who lacked self-control by complaining in the wilderness to Moses, even though God saved them from slavery? Mommy and Daddy, did your child say Israelites? Wow, if they said that, that means they have the correct answer. Today, I want to share with you a story about a man called Samson, and we will learn about self-control from his life. See, Samson is a very special man with a super incredible strength. The Bible says he's so strong that he can tear a lion apart with his bare hands. Maybe like the hawk. Let's continue. Now, Samson grew up and was told by his mother not to drink any wine, eat anything unclean, or cut his hair. You see, Samson was a Nazirite. In the olden days, a Nazirite was someone specially chosen by God, different from others. And one of the rules of being a Nazirite is that they cannot drink wine. Samson was also a judge. During his time, the judges were like tribal chiefs or leaders who were selected to protect God's people. Now, the book of Judges in the Bible is about how the different leaders of Israel protect the people of God. And you can find Samson's story in Judges chapter 13 to 16. God had a special purpose for Samson's life, as he was chosen to save Israel from the Philistines. But unfortunately, Samson had a weakness. He had a problem with his self-control and made many wrong choices. He would kill people in his anger as he could not control himself, and he did not always obey and follow God's plan. Samson also had no self-control in his emotions. He kept falling in love with different women. He fell in love with one woman named Delilah. Now, Delilah was not a very good woman. The Philistine went to her and offered Delilah's money to find out where Samson's super incredible strength came from and how he could be defeated. 3 times Delilah asked Samson, and 3 times he gave her false answer, like fake news. But Delilah kept pestering and asking and pressuring Samson until he could not take it anymore. So he told Delilah the secret of his strength. Now, the secret of Samson's strength is that he must not cut away his hair. Once he cut his hair, he would lose all his superpower strength. Can you imagine what happened to Samson? Delilah told Philistine about his secrets. His enemies cut his hair. Not only that, dug out his eyes and put him in prison. Do you have a hard time, children, stopping yourself from hitting someone when you are upset or angry? Or have you been pressured by your friends to do the wrong things? Are you spending too much time on your computer, television, or handphone? Samson's story is a great reminder for us to practice self-control and say no to sin or pressure from our friends. You see, when Samson was in prison, he repented and he reflected over his actions. Samson asked God to forgive him and use him one last time to save his people. And after praying that prayer, God gave his strength back to him and he was able to defeat and kill all his enemies by collapsing the pillars. But unfortunately, Samson died. God gave Samson a great gift, but because of his lack of self-control, Samson had to die. Do you have difficulty with self-control? Actually, Samson knew all along what God wanted him to do, what was right and what was wrong. We all know that we are to honor God with our words, actions, and thoughts. Children, you know you need to obey mommy and daddy, and we are not supposed to be watching television or playing computer games all day long. And Auntie Debbie knows that I'm not supposed to eat so much chocolates and chips. I know sometimes it's not easy to have self-control. That is why we need God to help us. We need to learn to do the right thing immediately, like obeying your daddy and mommy right away when they ask you to do something or to stop watching your favorite cartoon or stop playing your favorite games. Wait patiently for your turn when you are playing with your friends or your siblings with a toy or a game. It also means that we need to do what is right and not do something that will cause us to sin, like fighting with our siblings, throwing tantrum, taking a toy without asking first, or watching a bad cartoon movie. When you face a situation that requires self-control, stop, then pray and run away from the temptation. If you find it difficult to say no to the situation or sin, you can try talking to your daddy or mommy and they can pray together with you and ask God for help. God will give you the self-control to say no to sin and situation. Today's memory verse is from the book of 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. God did not give us a spirit that makes us afraid. He gave us a spirit of power and love and self-control. Children, we still have some time before we go back to school. Auntie Debbie wants to encourage all of you to start developing self-control at home. Plan your days to read the Bible, spend time with God. Remember, do not let other things like computer games, television or toys take away your time with God. Have some self-discipline in planning your day to do the right thing. And you can also do kind things to your parents and siblings. Be in control of your feelings and emotions, especially now that we have all the time at home. And parents, I can understand how you feel being at home with your children. So for this week, let's all practice self-control together as a family. After this clip, spend some time sharing with each other which areas you need self-control in. Allow God to help you to be able to pause, pray, and do the right thing. Alright, that's all I have. See you. Bye.